Every single day, billions of dollars worth of oil passes through a narrow strip of water, barely visible on a world map. A place so important that if it closes for even a few days, the entire world could feel the shock. Gas prices explode, economies panic, militaries prepare for war. This is not just another shipping route. It is the Strait of Hormuz, the most strategic choke point on Earth. A narrow passage surrounded by enemies, missiles, warships, and decades of tension. And if one mistake happens here, the consequences could change the world overnight. Between Iran and Oman lies a waterway only about 33 kilometers wide at its narrowest point. Yet this tiny corridor controls nearly 1/5 of the world's oil supply. More than 20 million barrels of oil move through it every single day. Countries across Asia, Europe, and beyond depend on it for survival. China, India, Japan, South Korea, even distant nations feel its influence. Because modern civilization runs on energy, and much of that energy passes through this one narrow gateway. The Strait of Hormuz connects the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. To the north lies Iran. To the south are Oman and the United Arab Emirates. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary body of water, but geography turned this place into one of the most powerful locations on the planet. The Persian Gulf contains some of the largest oil reserves in human history. Countries like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, and the UAE export enormous amounts of oil and gas. But there's one major problem. Most of that energy has only one path to the open ocean, the Strait of Hormuz. Imagine an hourglass, huge amounts of global energy squeezed through a tiny opening. That is Hormuz. And because the shipping lanes are so narrow, tankers entering and leaving the Gulf must travel dangerously close to Iranian territory. Oil is more than fuel for cars. It powers factories, airplanes, cargo ships, militaries, entire economies. Without stable oil supplies, the modern world slows down rapidly. Around 20% of global petroleum consumption moves through Hormuz. Liquefied natural gas from Qatar also passes through these waters. If this route becomes blocked, global markets react immediately. Oil prices can surge within hours. Stock markets shake, inflation rises, and governments begin preparing for crisis. This is why every major power watches Hormuz carefully. The United States Navy maintains a strong presence nearby. Iran conducts military exercises in the region. Britain, France, and other nations patrol these waters too, because everyone understands one thing. Whoever controls Hormuz holds enormous influence over the global economy. The Strait of Hormuz has witnessed decades of conflict and confrontation. During the 1980s Iran-Iraq War, both sides attacked oil tankers in what became known as the Tanker War. Ships were bombed, mines were placed in the water. Fear spread across global markets. The United States eventually intervened to protect shipping routes, but tension never truly disappeared. After the Iranian Revolution in 1979, relations between Iran and the United States collapsed. Sanctions increased, military pressure grew. And over the years, the Strait of Hormuz became one of the most militarized waterways on Earth. There have been ship seizures, drone incidents, naval confrontations, missile threats. Again and again, the world has come dangerously close to escalation. And every time tensions rise, the same question returns. Could Hormuz be closed? Iran has repeatedly warned that it could block the Strait of Hormuz if threatened or attacked. But how realistic is that? Militarily, Iran possesses several tools capable of disrupting shipping traffic. Naval mines, fast attack boats, anti-ship missiles, drones, coastal defense systems. Even temporary disruption could create chaos in global energy markets. But fully closing the strait is another matter entirely. The United States and its allies maintain overwhelming naval power in the region. A prolonged blockade would likely trigger a massive military response. And Iran itself also depends on these waters for oil exports. Closing Hormuz could damage Iran economically as well. This creates a dangerous balance. Iran may not need to permanently close the strait to achieve leverage. Even the threat alone can move global markets. If the Strait of Hormuz were blocked, the impact would be immediate. Oil prices could skyrocket beyond $150 per barrel or even higher depending on the crisis. Fuel shortages could appear in vulnerable countries. Shipping insurance costs would surge. Airlines and transportation companies would suffer. Inflation could spread globally. Some countries have alternative pipelines that bypass Hormuz. Saudi Arabia and the UAE developed limited backup routes. But these alternatives cannot fully replace the enormous volume moving through the strait every day. The reality is simple. There is currently no perfect replacement for Hormuz, which is exactly why the world fears instability here. The waters around Hormuz are heavily armed. American aircraft carriers patrol nearby seas. Iranian Revolutionary Guard speedboats operate close to commercial ships. Surveillance drones constantly monitor the region. One misunderstanding, one collision, one missile launched by mistake could ignite a wider conflict. Military analysts often describe Hormuz as a powder keg because tensions here involve multiple rivals simultaneously: Iran, Saudi Arabia, Israel, the United States, Gulf states, and behind every regional rivalry lies the same issue: energy, power, influence, survival. In the 21st century, the Strait of Hormuz became even more important because of Asia's growing energy demand. China imports massive amounts of Gulf oil. India does too. This means future conflicts in Hormuz could affect the balance of global power itself. The United States has long guaranteed security in the region through naval dominance, but the geopolitical landscape is changing. China is expanding its global influence. Russia seeks stronger ties in the Middle East. Regional alliances continue shifting, and Hormuz remains at the center of it all. A narrow waterway carrying not only oil, but also the tensions of an unstable world. Throughout history, powerful nations fought over strategic locations: mountain passes, rivers, trade routes, canals. Today, one of the most important of them all is the Strait of Hormuz, a place most people will never visit, yet a place capable of affecting billions of lives. Every ship that crosses these waters carries more than oil. It carries economic stability, political pressure, global tension, and the frightening possibility that one regional crisis could trigger worldwide consequences. Because in the modern world, a narrow strip of water can hold the fate of entire economies. And as long as the world depends on oil, the Strait of Hormuz will remain one of the most dangerous and important places on Earth. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe for more deep dives into geopolitics, history, and the hidden forces shaping our world. Because sometimes, the most important places are the ones most people never think about.